Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In my last video, I talked about the Financial Coach Master Training program that Dave Ramsey offers, and I had mentioned in that video that certain, rewards are unlocked while you are progressing through the program. One of those rewards was Financial Peace University Online. So I wanted to take a little bit of time today to talk about what that program offered me and whether or not I think it's worth the $130 that you would have to pay if you were pursuing it on your own. Quickly, I will say that much of the content is extremely true to Dave Ramsey's other content. So if you've read the Total Money Makeover, or if you are a regular listener to his radio show, then it will be more of the same. In that regard, I don't know that it's worth pursuing if you've already entrenched yourself in all that other content. However, if you're looking for motivation, or if you're looking to better understand without having to pick up a book, or maybe without having to wait for the questions you're specifically seeking to be answered on his radio show, it could be a good fit for you. There's two ways to take Financial Peace University. The first one, which is the way I did not do, that is where you sign up for a local session and you have somebody that is sort of directing or spearheading you through the 9 lessons that occur 1 lesson per week. I did the online version, which follows that method. I guess I would say the big difference is that you don't have to do 1 lesson per week if you don't want to. So it's encouraged that you do 1 lesson per week. You watch the same video that's presented if you go to the in-person version, but you could really just fly through them if that's what you're desiring to do. And to be perfectly honest with you, that's what I did because I can be hugely impatient. So keep that in mind. That if you are good and diligent about pacing yourself, your experience will be a little bit different from mine. Digging into it, the first lessons, so what would be equivalent to the first 4 weeks if you actually followed the timeline they recommend, are completely in alignment with the Total Money Makeover. They cover the baby steps. They do also include a variety of scary statistics that I think are in there to really inspire you to know that you made the right decision to pursue a change in your financial lifestyle, and also to encourage your continuation with the program. The first statistic I wanted to read is that 80% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, which really is no surprise. Well, that's not entirely true. I know many Americans, the majority of Americans, live paycheck to paycheck. I don't think I realized it was as high as 80%, but apparently this is the statistic that was provided by Ramsey Solutions, and I believe it because this is their bread and butter. This is what they do, and they are very well aware of the reporting and the investigations and the studies and research that are done in the financial sector. Additionally, 52% of Americans have less than $10,000 in savings, and that would include your emergency fund type savings, any savings account really, including retirement savings or investments. And this is, I think, hugely frightening because if you don't have any savings, you have no protection, you have no cushion, and it really could put you in a desperate situation should catastrophe strike, which it could. It absolutely could. So there were also some really motivational statistics in there, and like on a positive side, and there were stories that included people who had been through the program and really talked about what their life was like before the program, what prompted them to get involved in the program, and then what was their life like after the program. Those type of videos sort of track throughout the entire series of lessons, and they're very touchy-feely. They pull on your heart, and they really, speak to that inner sensibility that you have, that you want to have in the end, the comfort that those people eventually achieved. And for many people, I imagine that it also highlights some of the disconcerting feelings you may have if you're in one of the more desperate situations yourself. Lesson 5 I loved. It was about wants versus needs. As a woman who tends to be a bit materialistic, I try not to be, but let's be honest, or let me be honest with you, I can be pretty materialistic. I love luxury items, and I have a competitive spirit in me that to some degree has me looking at what other people have, and then I want to have that as well. So in all candor, it's something that I have self-awareness on, and this video or this lesson, the week 5 lesson, was designed to bring people to that self-awareness as well. Understand the difference between wants and the difference between needs, and pursue the mentality of delayed gratification. Consider saying no to things that are truly wants versus needs so that you can achieve and accomplish the greater, higher ideal for your life, which is to become debt-free and get yourself in a great financial standing. So for me, that particular lesson was noteworthy, and also it included negotiation tips, which I stink at. I positively stink at negotiating. It makes me super uncomfortable. And interestingly, I've noticed about myself, I can negotiate better for other people than I can negotiate for myself, which I have come to find out is pretty common for a lot of women. Thankfully, I have a husband who is not this way. I don't know if it's like the hunter-gatherer, make sure that he's coming out with the trophy, mentality that many men have, but he is extremely comfortable with negotiating, and thankfully so, because he has worked out some phenomenal deals for us. The next lesson, which is focused on insurance, was also very noteworthy for me, and it helped me, along with financial coach master training. These two things together created another paradigm shift for me in how I think about insurance. Previously, I just thought insurance was a requirement, not dissimilar to how I, for a long time, felt that credit cards were your emergency fund and that you had to have debt. This program helped me understand that I don't have to have insurance either. You pay premiums for the risks that you can't cover on your own. Lesson 6 will talk to you about what types of insurance you ought to consider, what sort of coverage you ought to consider, and also, probably most importantly for me, helped me understand that at some point I should be self-insured. So I won't have to pay these other insurance companies for all the insurance that I have today down the road. Great example is life insurance. Today I have life insurance that I want to say is 5 times my annual salary, and it would be my hope that by the time I am ready to retire, or even before that, maybe, I don't have to have any life insurance, because we are entirely debt-free, and once we get the kids through college, and what really is there? So ultimately, you could get to the point where once the kids are out of college, you don't need any insurance at all. We get taught through marketing what we're expected to do and what the companies want us to do, but sometimes that marketing is so entrenched in our mentality that we've stopped thinking about it rationally and figuring out what really do we need. And they're very good at that. I mean, didn't you watch Mad Men? Moving on to lessons 7 and 8, I won't spend a lot of time here, but ultimately they talk about retirement planning and real estate and mortgages. And it's really consistent messaging to what you would receive if you listen to Chris Hogan's show, or if you've purchased Retired Inspired, or if you are just an avid listener of Dave Ramsey. So the 15% to retirement savings, the idea of bridge accounts, some feedback about when to pull Social Security. And so there's good content there, but frankly, you could find it elsewhere. Lesson 9 is all about generosity. Some of the stories are truly tearjerkers, so I did enjoy that one as well. And I would imagine anybody would, right? Because that's the culmination. That's the cap, the pinnacle of your success, is being able to just give so generously that you have truly, truly done something profound for another person. A couple other comments I want to make about the program. The online community does also offer a really active community forum. I saw many emails coming into my inbox. There's a lot of conversation for each of the baby steps. There's a lot of very focused discussions around maybe student loans, or around college savings, or around whatever you can imagine. It's an active community though, and I feel that if I wasn't already so active in other communities that talk to or discuss many of the similar topics, I probably would have been more involved with that community because it seemed like it was extremely engaging and that there was fresh current dialogue occurring all the time. So it wouldn't be like going in and reading a stale conversation from 3 weeks ago. It's updating all the time consistently because it is such an active community. So there you have it, folks. I personally feel that I would not have signed up for Financial Peace University for myself because I have already spent so much time investigating many of these topics. It did bear some fruit for me in terms of giving me a couple more shifts in thinking about the things related to insurance, and the negotiation tips gave me some really great ideas there. So in ending, guys, I would just let you know that I think it is a great program. For myself personally, I would not pay the money to join it. I'm glad that it was part of the unlocking of the Financial Coach Master Training, but because I'd been through the Financial Coach Master Training and because I'm such an avid researcher for this type of content, it didn't really bring me much more new stuff that would be worth $130.